Good evening to day two of the European Qualification Championships for the World Bridge Federation, and we're joined again this evening by Rory from Grandmaster Bridge. You're very welcome, Rory.
Oh, great to be here, Thomas. Very exciting.
Yeah, it's going to get more exciting as the week goes on and more events come into play. So we're going to go straight into the events that have been continuing from yesterday, Rory. And we'll start off with the senior teams. At the moment, they're on round 7. So we'll just click on and see where the scores haven't started to come in yet. And we can see that France are leading against Bulgaria, Netherlands, England, Poland, Hungary, and Sweden are in the top 8 position. But as always, it's going to get interesting down around the qualification spot. And Ireland are in 12th position. So if we click on Ireland, Rory, and anybody who's looking at the videos, if you look at what we're doing, you can go to the European Championships website. If you search for European Bridge Teams, it'll come up in Google and you can click on results and you can go to each of the events as we're doing as we're going through each event, Rory, and anybody can do it at their own leisure, but it's just to show them what to do. So if we click on Ireland, we can see they're running in the event as they go and their scores. So we just move it over here. So they're on round 7 and they're playing Bulgaria and no scores have come in yet, Rory. We will move over and have a look at them.
I'm expecting them to qualify, Thomas. I know it's a hugely.
It's always difficult. It's always difficult, but it's a long way to go. You know what I mean?
And I think we have a really good team.
We have a very strong team. I mean, we have Gay Keaveney and Galway and Enda Glynn. We have BJ O'Brien and Ranald.
And Ranald are such great, they've been a great player for
Peter Goodman and Terry Walsh.
I think they're going to really start to shine. Don't you think so, Thomas?
But as the event goes on, I think they'll get stronger. That's what I think will happen. And one good win, by the way, moves you right up the field, and that's all you need. A couple of good wins to get you up into fighting position. And it's we have to remember, Rory, that this is the first time that this event and type of event where the teams are, I would effectively looking at a wall, you know what I mean, sitting on a computer screen playing bridge. So it's going to take a little while, I'm sure, for countries to for countries and players to get used to it. So I'd expect them, we'd expect their seniors to qualify and hope they qualify most definitely.
Well, I think the addition, Peter coming on the team, I mean, he's such a good Welsh international for so many years. He's only turned 60, I think, about 2 years ago.
So he's young in the category.
Yeah, and he's been very friendly with Terry, who's a very gifted bridge player. And I think
all the players. I mean, we've 24 players playing in the 4 categories. We have the open teams, the women's teams, the seniors, and the mixed. So we have the very best bridge players in all the events. You know what I mean? And
yeah, but I think in the seniors now we have.
But they've been there.
We've always had good. We've always had good 4 good, 2 good team, 2 good pairs.
No.
And this is the first time I think we've had
I don't
really good.
I don't agree with you, Rory. I don't.
Okay.
We've always had a great team in the seniors because they have a fabulous record. I mean, they've qualified for the World Championships twice at senior level. They just missed out on a medal at European Championship level. I mean, they're competitive at that level.
And that was with Nick and Adam playing, wasn't it?
No, it had mixtures of players, all you know, a mainstay of 4 or 6, but a mixture of players. So I think that I think they've been competitive as long as nearly as long as the seniors have been around. Once we started sending representative teams, the open team have been competitive for a long time, and in the COVID era, they're getting an awful lot of high level bridge online. So it's a big ask. They're not professional. We have a player playing in New Zealand, which is again 11 hours of a difference in the time, in a different time zone. We have Grania Barton is the NPC. We've Tom Hanlon and Hugh McGann, Adam Mesber and Nick Fitzgibbon, and we have John Carroll and Mark Moran. And again, it's a big ask for them to get into the top 8, but we'd hope that they do it. And a good run.
A great experience, though.
A good run, and they could. Let's move on just and have a quick look at the mixed, Rory. And we're going to just go through round 1, round 2, and round 3 and see how the Irish team has got on each round, okay? So on round 1, if we have a look at Ireland, they won the first match.
Before we start, have you ever played in the mixed
No, I've never played in mixed events for Ireland, no. There's no women to play with me, Rory. It's too difficult to play with. So moving swiftly on, Ireland won their first match 17.16.
That's brilliant. Absolutely superb.
To 2.84 against England. I mean, that's a great result.
That is fantastic.
That's a great result in the first match. And we have a look at the second match. They drew 10-all with Israel. Again, a very good result.
That's a great score.
And in the third match,
Israel have always put in very, very strong teams.
In the third match, sorry, I just have to move us over a little bit.
Russia.
Russia, was it?
Yep.
And what was the score?
We were just
a narrow loss, 11-9. Yeah. So again, that's a very respectable start to the mixed campaign from the mixed team, being in 6th place on 36 after round 3, 6 above averages, and having played
three huge
very strong teams. You know what I mean? 3 really good teams. That's a great result from the mixed. Now, the ladies are starting tomorrow in the second match. Now, where did we say we were going to have a look next, Rory? We had a look at the mixed, and we had a look at the
we've had a look at the senior. You didn't do round by round for the seniors.
We didn't do round by round for the seniors, so we'll have a quick look at the seniors. Yeah. The seniors round for round. There we are now.
So there they played Russia again.
Russia, and again,
and very narrow.
Oh, we call that a draw, Rory.
That's really good.
Like a losing score draw. Yeah. And then round.
And you fancy the Russian team, don't you, Thomas?
Well, I did a bad loss against Spain on round 5.
Mm-hmm.
Round 6.
Switzerland.
A good win against Switzerland, 17-3. So that puts them.
No, they lost against Switzerland.
No, they didn't. They won 16.97 to 3.
Oh, sorry, I beg your pardon. Yes.
Yeah. So they're up to 12th position, and of course round 7 is in play at the moment. So we have a quick look at the open team, and we'll do this slightly differently. We'll click on Ireland. Where are they gone there? There they are. We can just click on them and we can see how they started the day. So they started the day yesterday, I think, in 9th position.
That's right, yeah.
They had a loss against Ukraine, a good win against Russia, a good win against Lithuania, and then they had their 12 for a bye. So that has them in 7th position at the moment, and they're playing Poland at the moment. Mm-hmm. So without any further ado, we'll move over to the match, Rory. What table are you at?
I'm at, it doesn't say what table it is.
No, you're at, who's playing at your table?
Hugh and Tom.
That's grand. So I'll go to Nick and Adam. And what we're just going to do is I'm just going to maybe flick at a couple of the boards. I'll just move this over here.
And you can see that the Hungary team there are obviously not playing the Italians, boycotting.
Oh, continuing. We'll talk about that a little bit more, Ivan. There's a letter being published by the Italian Bridge Federation. We should have a little discussion about that. So we just have a quick look at the scores. We can see that it's 10-5 in imps at the minute, and so far the big board has been board number 1. So I'm just going to click on board number 1 at our table. Board number 1 at this table was 4 spades -1. So Nick and Adam put them down.
That's a very, very good defense. They must have.
Well, yeah, I think maybe we'll have a look and we'll see what lead they got. So on the lead of a diamond, he takes it. And he plays a heart. And he wins. And he takes his diamond. But you're now the club switch.
Yeah.
He's down.
He's down 1, yeah.
He hasn't got the entry to do what he needs to do, and he can't. He
can't throw a loser. Can't throw any of the clubs on his.
He can't get any of his losers away before he sets up the spade. Here's Andrea now. Okay, so he can't set up the spade. So if we have a look at the other table.
And they made it. They got the same lead.
Well, again, the same lead doesn't necessarily change it, because what he might do is, I'm only guessing, right? But if he leads a spade, right? So let's say, for example, the bidding he leads the diamond, right? So he wins the ace and he leads a spade to the ace, and then he leads the 10 of hearts.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
So king of diamonds lead and he wins the ace. He refused the spade finesse. And now when he leads the heart, south is between a Hobson's choice. It's one we'd put in the lessons, Rory.
Excellent, yeah.
Wins the ace of hearts, and now he can take the diamond and play a club. And he's very lucky because the north hand can't ruff, look. And he gets the club away. Throws the other club and loses a spade.
Loses a spade, and that's it.
So 10 tricks and 10 imps. Hi, Andrea. Doesn't seem to have joined us there for some reason. Okay.
Hi, Andrea.
So that's 10 imps. He's muted himself and he's on.
Good evening, everybody.
Ah, there you are.
Sorry,
you're all right. There's no trouble at all. We just got started. So if we look at board 2, it was 1-0 trump by south going down and 1-0 trump by south making. So again, the exact same lead, the exact same contract, the exact same declarer, and we'll have a look. So Adam Mesber is south, and we'll have a look at what he does. And then we'll see whether we can see why the difference occurs. So a club is led, and now they're going to take 5 tricks. So he discards a diamond, and he continues to discard a diamond and a diamond from his hand. The little diamond is still a threat, by the way. It's still creating a problem. So what did they play now? Another club and a diamond, and now he just plays a diamond. Well, that gives him time now to play a spade, and they haven't set up their heart trick. Isn't that the difference?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they can make one more trick. Let's have a look at the other table. So that's what oh no, hold on, sorry. I tell a lie. 5 club tricks and plays a diamond. So there's no 7th trick, is there? So where does the 7th trick come from at the other table? That's what we want to have a look.
Well, they didn't.
Well, let's just have a look. So club, the first 5 tricks must be identical.
Yeah.
Now let's see what he throws here. Ah, that gives the finesse of a diamond. Yeah.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
And now he just has to finesse the diamond.
Yeah.
Okay. So again, small margins change things completely. Small margins change
That's
things
5
completely.
imps. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the scores are here, and we have a look at the live scores up here. We'll see Ireland is in 6th place at the minute. Norway out in front on 138 victory points. That's averaging 13.8. So just 14 a match. 13, Sweden, Spain, Hungary, Switzerland, next Ireland. So again, Denmark, France, Netherlands, Italy. Again, Italy haven't played a board.
Well, from 6 to 10, there's very little in it. Very little in it.
Well, even 1-1-6 and 1-1-2, one big match. That's all it takes. One big score. If we look down,
that's Israel and England down at 14, isn't it? 10.
Israel is in 11th and 12th. Yeah, and they're strong. They're strong teams as well, you know. So Poland down in 20th position. Yeah. Now, of course, a lot of the teams down the bottom position are a certain number of VPs behind the teams that have played against Italy.
Hi, Andrea. How are you?
Oh, I'm okay. You?
I can't see you. I can just see your hand.
Are you turning on your camera? So they're on board 6 here. It's looking like a slam hand. The diamonds being 2-2 is going to make this contract, means it'll make. The spades being 3-3 means it'll make as well, because you can get the club away on the 13th spade. So we'll have a look at this board and see. So it's a club from Mesber, which is a strong club they play. East-West are silent throughout. 2 hearts, which is some sort of positive, I think, showing. I mean, let's have a look and see what they alerted it as. 8-11, balanced and artificial. 2-no trump, showing a balanced or semi-balanced hand with no 5 spades. 3 spades is no major. 4 clubs is a cubid. 4-no trump is natural. 5 clubs is 1 or 4, and that's obviously something has happened here. They're not on the same page because they're playing in a 4-3 fit.
Well, Nick alerted his 4-no trump as being natural, and I assume that Adam assumed the fight. It was. Well,
he did, yeah. You can see that natural. And he replied Roman key card. So that's what I'm saying to you. Yeah, they've obviously got. Yeah,
it's unusual for them because they're so. They've been playing for so long that they should get into that sort of a mismatch.
It can happen. It can happen. The good news is 5 clubs is going to make.
I remember playing the Schenken Club. Did you ever hear of that?
Barnett Schenken.
Yeah. He's just died this year. Joe.
Yeah, he was still giving lessons last year on BBO.
But Joe Revington from Kerry, who just died last year, great character, and he insisted that was all he was going to play. So I had to learn it from him. And early on, we ended up in a fantastic 2-2 fit in clubs.
So they're going to lose on board number 6. They're going to lose a slam on board number 6 because the opponents were in the 6 diamonds plus 1. So even if they make 5 clubs, they're still going to lose a non-vulnerable slam. So they're going to be going down at this. Yeah, they're going to be going down, losing 11 on this match. So we'll move over and we'll have a look at the seniors and see how they're getting on their events. And again, for anybody who hasn't used the Real Bridge, when you log into the Gebitzers, you can see the events, the open round 10. We'll have a look at the mixed because they were doing absolutely fantastic, if we remember.
They were, yeah.
So there's John Noonan and Caroline Cummins. And let's who's playing at the other table. Can you see who's at the other table?
Do you want? I think you have to go upwards, not down.
Or down. I just have to check where they are. There they are, Louise and David. So we just click on the scores. So again, Romania are beaten by 16 imps to 9, which equates to a 12.5 to 7.5 victory point score.
Yeah.
And we just have a quick look at the scores. We can see they're still in 8th position in qualifying, still above average. England right on their heels. Remember, Ireland beat them for heavily in the first match, so they must have come up to 2 good matches. Yeah. They're England are tipping along nicely. They're 12-8 to Portugal. So I think they're all 10 board matches, which is quite short for these events. Normally they'd be quite longer. And they're in 2 hearts at this table by East. So she's drawing her trumps. With the spade double finesse being correct, she doesn't need to lose a spade, but you're not to know that.
Yeah. That's David who's playing it. Thomas.
David, sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Louise, how long has David been playing with Louise?
Well, I mean, they play a lot of mixed events together, so they would have they'd have played in Galway for many a long year. Louise is from Galway and David is Galway, even though Louise is now married and living in Limerick. So they'd have played mixed a lot of events.
Yeah.
I mean, David would play with Enda. He would play with Gay Keeves and Donal Machanisa, Kieran Coyne. He's been on the Irish Open team for the Camrose and the Irish Open team in the Europeans. So there's so many events that all the you know, everybody, all the top players have a good chance of getting a game in one of the events.
Yeah. Should make this now.
There you go.
Oh, what a great finesse!
Yeah, it's what it can't cost. And he has an entry. He's an entry back to his hand. I mean, if it loses, it loses. I mean, what can you do? You weren't going to win the trick anyway. And it is. I mean, this method of scoring, every imp is important.
Yes.
So if we have a look and we see what they did at the other table. Board 7. Have they played at the other table yet?
Yeah, they're on board 8.
Yeah, and again, it's a flat board. So we just have a look at board 8. We'll see what happened. 4 spades making. So there must be a guess that they have to get right in clubs. So let's have a quick look. Heart lead. Well, that solves that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
There's no guess when you lead the suit and it opens itself up. So the declarer didn't have to do any work there. Now, there is no, probably you're going to make it because you can set up the diamond. You know what I mean? You can set up the diamond before you have a chance, and maybe you need to play the club through. But let's have a look and see what happens now at this table. Now we have a little bit of a comparison. So the bidding, first of all, is on 1 spade, 2 diamonds, game forcing. So it's amazing. An 11 count is game forcing now, opposite of 1 level opening. But if that's what they deem their hand to be, and that's what the system is, well, that's what you do. And I would imagine that they're doing it because they're going to show a game forcing hand in
spades,
in spades with 3-card raise and a singleton, and that's exactly what he's done. I mean, it's a 7 loser hand. It has a fit. It has control. Now let's see what happens, what the lead is, and what occurs. So you've three obvious tricks to lose. 2 in diamonds, 1 in hearts. You might find that they win the heart and immediately play a club exactly as was done at the other table.
That lead won't hurt them, will it?
Well, I don't think any lead hurts them as it happens. I think they can't get a club trick set up before you can set up your diamonds. That's what I think happens on the board. They're only playing 8 boards in this match, lads. I do apologize. So again, a flat board here will have a narrow loss by Ireland, 16-9, 12.5 to 7.5.
Can we have a look at board 4 there?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Thomas, because that seems to be the board that sorted them out. And where did the bidding go?
Well, 1 spade from south, 1 no trump from north, 2 clubs, some sort of gazilli natural, yeah, or 1670, 2 diamonds, 8 plus, 3 diamonds, and then he'd really nowhere else to go, had he?
No.
So they have to lose a spade, a heart, a diamond, and a club. You're struggling to beat 3 no trump, aren't you? Struggling to get me going.
The other side.
We'll click on that now. I can see why you wouldn't be in 3 no trump. I would be absolutely fair about that now.
So the bidding went 1 spade, 1 no trump, 2 diamonds.
Well, I mean, it's a 16 count opposite an 8 count. I mean, it's not but that again, Rory, the level that people play at, any sort of 24 count.
I know, this is incredible.
You know what I mean? They just bid game, bid game, bid game, bid game.
They back themselves that they will find a trick somewhere.
And again, it's gone exactly the way we expected it to go. The heart was won and the club was switched, because it might be with the little clubs on the table that you need to play clubs twice through to get 2 tricks in the suit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't know who has the king of diamonds. You're not certain that you've got 2 diamond tricks. So that's that match over for the mixed. And how about we go and have a quick look just before we finish? We have a quick look at the seniors.
Is Andrea there at all? No.
It doesn't matter.
I think he's boycotting us like the Italians.
No, I doubt that. No, but the Italians aren't boycotting anybody. There's a question that somebody's asked: is there any team which will play against Italy and will not forfeit? Well, that's going to be a running thread. We'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah.
Now, the seniors, we just wanted to have a quick look at, didn't we?
Yeah.
Now, let's see who's playing for them.
Now, are any of the greats playing on any of those teams?
I'm sure there are. I'm sure there are lots of great players playing in the seniors.
Because it's always fantastic to...
Paul Hackett, Brian Senior. Paul Hackett is one of the first players to be professional in bridge in England, decades upon decades ago. Jason and Justin Hackett are his sons, fabulous players.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Now, there's Gay Keaveney and Enda Glynn are playing for Ireland as north-south at that table.
And Peter and Terry are the other.
Where are the other?
Down, if you go down, you see them, they're middle board,
There we are. So we'll have a quick look at Peter and Terry, see where they are. Okay, so they're on board 9, and we'll have a look at the scores just to see if it pleases us. So again, they're just losing nearly 14-6 or 13.5 to 6.5 just. So they're on board 9, and it looks like they need to get a couple of good scores in. Not sure many boards this is. So we'll stay with these for this board, and then we'll have a quick chat about the continuing Italian non-play.
Just to keep you up to date, by the way, you are absolutely bang on. The open team lost 11 imps there on that 5 clubs misfit.
Yeah.
Or misbid.
Yeah. Well, it's a misunderstanding. Somebody was doing something different, you know.
Yeah. Otherwise, they would have won that match, but it's a shame. I think they have two more boards to go.
2 more boards to go, plenty of time, and lots more bridge. I don't think there's any more. Is there one more? No, this is the 10th match today, isn't it, Rory? In the Opens, we're on round 10, aren't we?
Well, just if we go to scores there, we'll see.
Yeah, we are, yeah. I'm in the sea.
So, yeah, there's only eight boards in this one.
No, they're on board 9, look.
How are they on board 9?
We're in the seniors.
Oh, right, okay.
So 2 spades from North, which is some sort of either a weak 2 or a 2-suiter weak.
Or
spades and a minor tartan, weak tartan, yeah. Pass.
It's interesting to see a tartan being bid because a lot of people don't like it as a bid.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be interesting to see 2-note trump, and now we're probably going to get 3-note trump from Terry.
Yeah.
Nicely done and nicely played. So if they lead a spade, they've got 1 spade, 6 clubs, and 2 hearts. So 3-note trump should make.
Mm-hmm. It's a very good lead.
10 of spades.
They leave the low spades.
No, they're probably playing strong 10s, showing that they have the sequence, which we know they have from the bidding and so far. So I'd imagine he's going to win. Lead a heart to the table and play a club, queen or 10 of clubs. That would be my guess as to what he does.
So he'll make 6 club tricks.
A diamond is 7, 2 hearts is 8,
a spade.
9 and a spade. 9, a spade is 9, yeah. And there might be good things happen. I mean, South is going to have to find 5 discards, and North is going to have to find 4 discards.
Yeah.
So we expect there to be 10 tricks on this board. We might have a quick look and just see what's happening at the other table. 3-note trump. Now they're nearly finished. And again, if he gets off lead with a diamond, he'll just make his 10 tricks. So I'd imagine board 9 is going to be a flat board. Gay Keaveney didn't get end played. So let's see whether they must have a 10th board. I can't imagine them playing 9 boards, Rory.
No.
This isn't live, of course. It's a half-hour delayed coverage. On Real Bridge, they get cameras. And on some of the matches, they're putting commentary. So maybe there are only 9 boards, Rory.
Why would they do that?
Sure. I mean, why would anybody do that? I don't know what goes on anymore.
And Glynn there, yeah, and Gay, yeah.
No, it's 3-note trump, and it's gone the same. So he played exactly the way we said, Rory. He won the spade lead, crossed to the heart, and led the 10 of clubs.
And now he's going to squeeze them for
discards. No, I don't think there's any squeeze.
Well, it just gives them a discarding situation. But I don't, yeah, they can't.
He just throws.
It depends whether he loses 1 or 2 spades, doesn't it?
Well, no, it's about whether he makes a 10 or 11 tricks. He's 10 on top. If North South make a mistake, they might be forced into giving.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The problem is, or not the problem is. What happened in the other match was he had to lead out from his queen 9 over the ace jack.
Yeah, he might be in a position where he's able to play ace other diamond. Yeah?
Yeah.
And end play North into giving him his queen of spades. Absolutely right. So now he almost has a count to the hand at this stage. He knows that North has 5 spades, 4 diamonds. So what does North throw? Well, North now when he plays a club, North has to throw a spade, and now he can play ace other diamond with impunity.
Mm-hmm.
So, he's done this now. What has he done? He's done the other way, Rory. He's played a
He's
spade.
going for very good.
Now he knows wherever the diamond is. That's a much better line of play. We'll show you that in a second, everybody. That's an extra imp, and that makes a difference. 1 imp will bring you an extra little bit of a VP. Do you know what I mean? When that comes in, 0.57, yeah. Always makes a little bit of a difference. So, Rory, just for the last few minutes, we're just going to have a little discussion, and we're just going to talk to you. Again, the Italian Bridge Federation has written a letter, and it's on the Neapolitan Club, the online bridge magazine, and there's lots of stuff on this, lots of good articles.
Well, should you just read it out there?
Well, I won't read out everything, like all the names and everything, but I'll just give you a synopsis. The start of the European qualifiers for the 20 World Championships and the Champions Cup has been disconcerting. The first 6 rounds took place, and none of the teams who were scheduled to play against Italy turned up. The teams were Scotland, Wales, Slovenia, Lithuania, Ukraine, and Latvia. And then they mentioned the Italian team. It is apparent that this is not a coincidence, but a planned and perhaps coordinated protest of those MBOs who did not want to play against Italy. This is not acceptable, and it undermines the relationship between our NBO and theirs. Even worse, it is offensive towards the organizer of the event, the EBL, who accepted the Italians team lineup. Prior to writing this statement, we waited for publication of the first bulletin, and we are pleased to see that the EBL has started an investigation to find out more about why those 6 NBOs refused to play. This behaviour could potentially be subject to heavy penalties, reflecting the serious violation against principles of sportsmanship and basic civility. We are almost sure, and we are not scared to face the elephant in the room, that the reason why they refused to play is because one of the players on the Italian team had been subject to investigation and disciplinary action for cheating. Some influential players are still campaigning against them, while national and international organisations are silent on the matter, which undermines their own credibility and authority. As everyone knows, investigations and tribunal proceedings ended with the player's acquittal. Although players have their own views, the sports tribunal has spoken, and the player has the right to play in all national and international competitions. But this can happen only if we remember that we live in a civilized society, that we recognise human rights and acknowledge the role of justice, and if we want to keep hoping that bridge will be recognised as a real sport. We look forward to hearing the outcome of the EBL's inspection and any potential disciplinary measures, hoping that these awful events will not repeat themselves in the future. So that's the reply from the president of the Italian Bridge Federation.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, they have to come out fighting, don't they? Really, but I mean, well, I think it's a bit disingenuous for him to say that they were talking about Fulvio Fantoni, who was caught cheating.
Well, no, the problem isn't with the fact of what the problem is. That, in my opinion, is that bridge is trying to be recognized as a sport. And I don't think it needs to be recognized as a sport. I think the game is better than that. I think it's better in all facets of what it does. I mean, there's no sport where you can start playing at 6 years of age and finish at 106. There's no other game or sport or whatever you want to call it better than bridge for what you can do in life and what it can do and the all aspects of it. And this adulation of wanting to be in the Olympics and wanting to be called a sport is rubbish. So at some point, somebody has to stand up for what's right. I mean, civil disobedience has a long tradition in countries, and the players have made a mark. And it seems to me so far, just looking at this, let's just click on it. Round 10. Let's just click on Italy. It seems to me so far, Hungary didn't play. Well, no, Hungary didn't play in round 10 either. We've 10 teams. We've 1/3. We've 1/3 of the teams that have refused to play abroad because Italy have fielded a player that the top players in all the countries do not feel has got the punishment that he deserves.
And I think it's important to point out that Fantoni is, if you like, the poster boy now for cheating. Himself and Nunes were caught using a system that gave them an advantage in very, very, very close international competition. And they were the 1 and 2 in the world, first and second in the world. And they played for Monaco, even though they were originally
and paid a lot of money.
Huge amount of money by
a lot of money, like, so it's yeah. I mean,
I think the players are making a stand because it was so outrageous, because it was their 1 and 2, because they had got the adulation of being the greatest bridge players in the world at the time, and everybody gave them respect for that.
They probably were the greatest bridge players in the world. But the margins, the fine lines of being able to take advantage. And that's why I say I don't think we should be chasing after bridge being a sport. I think the game is better than it. I think it's better than a sport.
Well, I don't agree. I think it is a sport, and I think
but it's better than a sport.
A fantastic thing.
It's better than a sport.
But your students will understand, because I know the way you teach them, that the beauty about bridge is there's an awful lot of evidence there from the bidding and the way that people are playing as to where the cards are placed, and that's the beauty of bridge. And trying to work out where things the
game is fascinating on so many levels. On a basic
but
level.
if you have an extra help in
the tiniest of margin. I mean, it's simple. It's like this, Rory. If you look at your local club and you look at what will win on a night in your local club, sure, it could be anything from 68% down to 60%. But if you look at what will win world or European championships, well, it could be 56%. So at that level, the tiniest advantage is phenomenal. Like the cricketers, the Australians who were rubbing the balls.
Yeah,
cricketers. The tiniest
the
spin bowlers, the tiniest of or the baseballers, the baseball players in America, the tiniest advantage is huge when you get to the upper echelons of the game. It's huge. So it obviously hasn't been dealt with. And I don't know whether this is a concerted effort or whether it isn't, but the teams have obviously decided, and the players are obviously deciding to follow suit. And it will be interesting to see, and we'll watch this space. It'll be interesting to see whether any team plays against Italy.
Well, I think the teams and the players come out of this with great credit, really great credit.
Some people don't agree.
Well, I would say forcefully. That they come out with great credit, and they deserve great credit from the general bridge community.
If I put my devil's advocate hat on, you could turn around and you could say, well, it's a disgrace. The man went through the process of whatever it was. He did whatever time was given to him. He's been put forward by his country. The EBL Credentials Committee have allowed him to play. It's a disgrace that they're not playing. They should all be thrown out and banned for life. All the players who've broken their conditions of contest and have done like that's. No,
I'd say, I think when a man robs a bank and we'll try me finishing a sentence for a second here, Thomas. When a man robs a bank and does his 5 years in jail, that's fine. He's done his 5 years in jail, but you don't make him a bank teller after that. You say, okay, you can do anything you like, but you're not going into banks. And that's what
I just want to make clear that I'm not saying that this is what right or wrong.
I know that, yeah.
Okay, I just want to make that.
Oh, I accept that. I accept you're
Yeah.
being devil's advocate.
Yeah, absolutely. But something, you know, if the integrity of the game is to stand, and if the game is to mean anything to anybody, and the top level of the game has to mean as much as the people who don't play to the same level, but we're all trying to play the same way. If it has to mean something, well, somebody had to take a stand at some point, and it's just going to be interesting to see what happens, how it's dealt with by the powers that be, how it's.
Yeah.
Go on.
But isn't it interesting, though, that it's in the time of the internet and YouTube and all of this, that this has changed bridge irrevocably? Because you couldn't have caught Fantuni and Nunes unless you followed them around year after year to find out what they were doing. And they were caught by people going back over hands, going back over YouTube, seeing what they were doing in specific hands. And I think that sends a signal to the great players, the bridge players of the world, that if you do something that consistently looks out of place, that no great bridge player would do, and you get consistently good results, then the probability is you're doing something that's giving you.
You'll get caught.
Yeah.
You'll get caught, Rory. You're absolutely correct. And I think on that note, we better finish it for tonight. Otherwise, we'll continue here for another 45 minutes. Listen, Rory, it was great for you to check in today. Hopefully, you'll have a half an hour, 45 minutes to check in tomorrow, and we might continue this discussion a little bit more.
I'd love to. Thanks, Thomas.
All right. Talk to you soon. God bless.
Bye-bye.